Do you think people do that for fun?
Waterboard? I'm sure there's a group of people out there that are crazy enough to just, hey, dude, let's throw back a six pack and waterboard each other. just
Like,
just to say that they did, they can survive it.
jeez Louise.
uh
I like how we do all the research beforehand, like as we're talking, and we're like, we should just get into this now.
yeah,
But yeah,
I mean,
welcome back to this week's episode of Two Dummies and a Microphone with John and Lucas. It was funny because you sent me the link to.
Yep.
You said Halifax noise. I thought I could
The
have sworn it
Halifax
was
hum.
Halifax hum.
Yep.
I could have sworn it was to the Havana Syndrome because I was at work and I was reading an article about that because it was on CNN.
Yes.
Is that where you saw it?
No.
Okay.
I was browsing Reddit, I think.
It's a reputable news source.
Well, the link was
Okay.
right. So somebody's like, oh, today I learned about this. I think it was a today I learned or some shit.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it was Reddit. It could have been like Instagram. I don't know. I was just surfing one of the many social media websites late at night, trying to just entertain myself and then see if something sparked interest. Because earlier in the week we had discussed talking about something, but we couldn't nail anything down.
Yeah, no, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's always like, he's like, what do you want to talk about this week? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
What do you want to talk about this week? And then yeah, I read the article, and I had read about the Havana Syndrome before.
Mm-hmm.
And reading about the Halifax hum, I was like, oh shit, dude, like this is kind of crazy because it's similar, not quite the same, but similar to the Havana Syndrome.
Yeah.
Right. And then for people that don't know what that is, we should probably explain it to them.
Yeah. I mean, you have the definition pulled up already, don't you?
What was that?
Don't you have the definition pulled up already?
I have a definition pulled up. So
okay.
What I am going to categorize this, not a scientist or someone, it's just the definition that I found fits it the best, right? Which is a mass psychogenic illness, right? It's an illness, disorder, epidemic hysteria, or mass hysteria that involves the spread of an illness symptom through a population. There's no infectious agent responsible or found, and everyone believes and has the same symptoms at the same time. Or not at the same time, but similar to each other.
Okay. So that's the Halifax hum, though, right?
No, that's the definition of a mass psychogenic illness, right?
Okay.
Halifax hum. We should start with the Havana Syndrome and then go back to the Halifax hum.
Okay.
The Halifax hum is more recent. Havana Syndrome was like 2018.
I mean, it's still pretty recent. I mean,
it's still pretty recent, but there's like, we'll put it this way. It's recent enough to where it wasn't that long ago, but it has a Wikipedia article. Halifax hum has nothing yet.
Oh, wow.
It just got reported, but I guess it's been going on for the last year. So Havana Syndrome in 2017, 2018, military personnel and ambassadors stationed in Cuba started reporting some cognitive difficulties, right? They started having ringing in their ears, nausea,
vertigo,
some of them
stuff like that. Yeah.
Hear a weird sound. It was about over 40 people, I think, right?
Yes. The article that I read, I think it was around that many.
Yeah. It's around 40 people that don't work in the same exact building. They just work in the same area. Yeah. No relation to each other, develop the same exact symptoms as everyone else, right?
Yeah, no, so, everybody's was different. And it was around the U.S. Embassy too, though, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it was around the U.S. Embassy, right? Obviously, people freak out because they think it's some sort of weird ultrasonic or attack on the embassy. Intelligence services come in, CIA comes in, they do a study, and they can't find a definitive cause of it.
Yeah.
Right? They found nothing, like, at all. But all of these people were still suffering from these symptoms. And as far as I know, it's still going on today, right? There's still random people that get.
Yeah, there's still outlying symptoms and things that people have going on around them.
Yeah. So, and that was 2017, 2018, right? Flash forward to last year, Halifax, England. And this is kind of me spark noting it because I only found one article which I sent you, and I can't
Yeah.
find it on my phone for some reason. And this BBC news clip you can find on YouTube. Just Google BBC North 13th October 2021 or Google Halifax hum, and you'll find it, right? But the people in the town of Halifax started hearing this obnoxious hum 24/7.
Good night.
Right? But you can't hear it out in town.
What do you mean?
Like if you're walking down the street, you don't hear the hum. Right?
Like it's only inside your home?
It's only inside the home and not every home, right? So some homes have it, some homes don't have it, some people hear it, some people don't hear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's reported as this incessant humming. The government's gone out there, they can't find what's causing it, right? They're suspecting that it's just ambient noise from construction going on everywhere else, but all the residents that hear it are reporting it as 24/7 noise, just all day in your house, a hum, right? It's taken some people to actually on the weekends get hotels in different towns just so they can sleep because they can't even sleep.
That's like,
but like if we were to go there, we wouldn't be able to hear it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That is nuts. So a group of people can all experience the same thing with no relation to each other. Right.
Now were these like prominent people in Halifax, or was it just like random citizens?
Just the average. It'd be like me in PB right now. Like I'm not a prominent person in PB, but I start hearing a hum in my house, and then my neighbor starts hearing a hum in his house. Right. And then the whole town just starts hearing a hum.
But it's only inside though.
It's only inside, dude.
What if it was like I mean, it could be like their electrical wiring or something. I don't know.
It could be, but they have power lines outside. So why wouldn't you hear it outside? Or if you go into your backyard, it's close enough to your house that you should hear it, right?
So what are they attributing that to though?
Nothing so far. They're still trying to figure that out. There's still a ton of people that are trying to pinpoint what that sound is, but it's hard if you're not from there because you don't hear it.
So you have to be from there to hear it.
I don't know if you have to like have been born and raised in Halifax and be a Halifaxian for your whole fucking life.
That's crazy, man.
Before you hear it, or if you just need to be in one of the houses, right?
Yeah.
I can't. Other than that one article where the old lady that was being interviewed described hearing it, but she said her neighbors couldn't. Right.
Well, I mean, it leads to so many questions. So, like, were her neighbors from Halifax? Are they transplants? Did they, how old were they? Good night.
I don't know, dude.
And then what type of medical condition was this old lady in?
I don't know, but it talked about the rest of the town hearing the same shit. So that would be kind of crazy, dude. That's like you hear something, but everyone tells you you're not hearing it. Right. That's like the definition of being gaslit by like the entire
community.
The entire
dude, 100%.
Community.
Like everybody around you is like, we got to get this person out of here.
Out of here, dude. He's hearing fucking hums, bro.
Yeah. But no, that was because one of the things that I found when I was doing the research for the Havana Syndrome is that people back like during the Cold War era had tried that out. And basically what it was with the Havana Syndrome, or what they thought it was, is radar waves or microwaves that you could pinpoint so that you could directly affect somebody's brainwave pattern, which would cause the ringing in the ears or the vertigo or whatever else was going on with them. And
nice, dude.
Yeah, they that's all thanks to Red Hook. There was a scientist back during the Cold War era that strapped himself to a chair and shot himself with radio, like set up a radar and directly shot radar waves to his head to see what the outcome of it would be.
Dude, that's fucking ballsy.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what, like, your head could explode.
And that's why he didn't turn it up all the way. That's like he like in the article, he's like, I didn't turn it up all the way because I didn't know what the effect would be on my brain, like if he would fry his brain.
So what you're saying is he had no idea, even at low power, what the fuck it would
Yeah.
do to his brain.
Yeah.
He's like, let me do low power.
Yeah.
I might come out of this. I might not.
Exactly. Like he was willing to put his body on the line to figure out what would happen.
Oof, man. That is I mean, I applaud the guy because we learned that it wasn't radar waves.
Yeah. But I mean,
And
for the Halifax hum, but nothing has really ever been figured out why the Havana Syndrome happened. Like
no,
why it happened in Cuba, why it was located
near the embassy.
At the embassy. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. Man, I'm just so curious. Like,
There's so many
more
questions.
to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, why Cuba of all places?
Well, I think too, Cuba is very not easy to get into. And so I think that the embassy that was there, it all points towards the Russians.
I was gonna say that, dude. I'm gonna let you finish though.
Yeah, it all points towards the Russians. So therefore, I I I think it could be a testing ground for something that could be bigger, or a test ground.
But if nothing was found, how does it point towards the Russians?
They're just shisty.
I mean, yeah, so like right now they're armed up to invade Ukraine, but they're not saying it. But
Yeah, I mean, they're just shisty. I mean,
no, I was thinking like maybe it's some sort of like leftover technology from the Cold War,
it could
right?
be.
And then some poor janitor was just like mopping the
Yeah,
basement and accidentally turned it on and got 40 people sick.
that
Launched
would
a
be
CIA
hilarious.
investigation.
Like just accidental, like messing people up.
Just like, oh fuck, I hit a button. I didn't do anything. All right, keep going. And
Yeah,
now
like this
everybody
light
is being
switch doesn't
investigated.
work, and
Yeah,
he's
what
just
is it?
flipping it on and off.
I have a light switch like that in this house that I don't know what it does.
That seems to be a common theme with you because you had a light switch in your old house.
No, the old house I
Oh,
knew
went to
all
the
of them.
garage.
Yes,
Yeah.
I knew all of the ones in the old house. This house, there's one. It's in my bedroom. Pretty sure it goes to an outlet, but not like I haven't plugged everything into all the outlets yet.
Yeah, and see
Like
what works.
yeah, see what works. So it could also be turning on a sound machine in Cuba. I don't know. When I first read the Havana Syndrome, the thing that came to my head was the brown note from South Park.
I haven't seen
Uh,
that episode.
oh man, it is a great episode.
Mm,
So essentially, Cartman learns that there's a note that you can play and will automatically make somebody shit themselves.
that's hilarious.
And that note is called the brown note. And then they go around doing regular South Park shit, trying to find this note and blast it to somebody. And then everyone gets hit with it at the same time. They all crap their pants. But
That's funny. I'm gonna have to check that out.
because for some reason, every article I read went straight to sound waves, dude.
Yeah, I think that's the easiest way because your outer ear, your inner ear, your what is it? Your colloquial, like the little sea urchin.
Yeah. Something. Cochlear?
Cochlear. That sounds correct.
All right.
But the little thing that looks like a seashell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's directly related. I mean, that's how you hear. So that'd be the easiest way
It is. I also
to
learned
like get
recently
into your brain.
you can actually kill somebody with sound.
Oh,
Right?
for sure.
You can torture them with music so badly that or not music, but random noises that it'll actually kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could do that. I mean, that they have the Chinese water torture where they just drip water at inconsistent periodicities onto your forehead that make you go crazy.
Yeah. So I'm kind of suffering something like that right now.
Okay.
It's called a 2-year-old that won't sleep.
Oh yeah.
If it was consistent, it wouldn't be that bad, right?
Yeah.
But the moment like you start to drift off, and then that time he decides to come in there or start crying or whatever, or when you're in a deep sleep and then they come in. Like last night, he woke up 3 times. Right. So I can't imagine being strapped down and like tied down. And then like the moment you start to fall asleep, that drip comes,
Oh yeah.
or they'll let you get an hour and then the
Oh
drip
yeah, that'd be
comes to start
terrible.
waking you up.
Yeah.
Right. And then it stops and you're all on edge
Good night.
waiting for the next one. And then it
Yeah.
doesn't come. You eventually let your guard down and then boom, drip.
Mm. No, thank you.
Yeah. And then do that with no like isolation. Nobody goes in there and talks to you.
You know, I'd definitely go crazy 100%. Like,
I would go insane too. It's a pretty passive aggressive way to drive someone to insanity.
oh yeah. Yeah.
I didn't want this episode to be about torture, but we're going there. There was a torture method or an execution method, I guess, where they would tie somebody down over bamboo shoots because bamboo grows super fast.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
and like it just grows through them?
yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, that'd be terrible.
They like feed them and keep them alive, everything until the bamboo goes all the way through them.
No. Hard pass. That's like the I forget what movie it was, but they're like you put a metal bucket and a rat underneath, and then you heat the metal
Ooh.
bucket up, and the rat tries to escape the heat. So what it does is it rips open your flesh and tries to bury into your body.
Yeah, to exit out through the back area. I forgot what movie that was in, but it's been in a couple.
Yeah.
It's been in like 2 that I can think of. Like physically remember the guy throwing the rat in the bucket over a sweaty ass fucking stomach
Yeah.
and then hitting it with a blowtorch. Yeah, there's that one. There's another Mongolian fucking execution method. The pictures floated around online for a while where they put you in the steppes, right? The steppes are like a plains area in Russia, Mongolia,
Uh-huh.
in a giant crate with no food and no water, and you're sealed up in there, right?
Okay.
And that's it. Like you're stuck in a box on the plains until you eventually die of starvation or dehydration.
Good. Yeah, that'd be I don't know if that's torture. I mean, it would be
Dude, I don't know.
torturous, but like
The picture that's out there, they were doing it to a chick. I think she's the last one to be killed this way, is why they had a picture. She was like reaching through the bars because you can see
yeah.
like, they have windows and shit. You could reaching through the bars trying to like break the lock with her hand and stuff to escape. Because I guess the rules are if you escape, you're
free.
free.
You're innocent. It's like back in the day with witches. Like if they don't drown, then they're not really witches.
No, if they don't drown, they were a witch. Because witches
that makes
would
no
float.
sense.
Yes, that's why it was all fucked
Like,
up.
oops, we messed this one up.
I'm gonna tie you to some blocks, right?
You'll be like, sorry, she wasn't a witch,
guys.
your mom's dead.
You're obviously a fucking witch because you're using your magic to stay alive, right? And then if you don't, you weren't a witch, but you're dead now. So there's no consolation there.
Yeah, good thing we don't do that nowadays. Like that episode I did with the free diver, she could hold her breath for like 4 minutes underwater.
4 minutes?
Yeah, man.
As long as she doesn't float, she'd be good. Or they could wait like 10 minutes just to be sure. And then she'd be fucking done.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 minutes, dude. That's crazy.
How would you want to what like if you could pick
a torture method?
Like that you had to go into and you were gonna die, like what would your method be?
Like, are you talking an execution or a torture method?
Torture. Oh, we'll go torture. You don't have to die, but what about Saw? Like those were all like you had to physically torture your body to get free.
Yeah, but it was all based around some sort of fucking sin that you committed.
I mean, theoretically, that's what all torture is. I mean, you're getting accused of something, so you get tortured.
Yeah, but like the method of torture is more to extract information than I'm the fucking jigsaw guy and you're a financial asshole. So I'm going to make you drink money till you shit it out and die of diarrhea.
Oh, man.
Right.
That'd be terrible.
That would be horrible. But if I were to pick the method to torture me, obviously from here, I'm the one being tortured. So I want it to be like the least painful.
I
don't know. I feel like getting shocked by a car battery.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
Because it hurts really bad, but like the moment
only
they
for
stop,
a second,
it's done. And really, while you're getting zapped, you I've been zapped many times. You don't really process the information that you're getting zapped. It only hurts once it's done, and then you're like, "Fuck, that hurt," but it's not really hurting anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be my torture method. Now, would you get information out of me that way? I don't know. If I were to pick one in which would probably work to get the information out quickly, is like shoving shit between my fingernail and nail bed.
I was just thinking about that. There's another, I forget, dude, there's so many movies with that in there.
Just threaten that dude and I'll fucking cough up anything you want.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm going to put toothpicks underneath your fingernails and just, I'm like, what do you want to know, man?
What do
like,
you need to know, dude?
Tell you whatever you want. Tell you whatever you want.
Have you ever had that type of shit happen to you before where something slides up underneath there, dude?
Oh, yeah. Like, just on accident. It's the worst feeling ever.
Yeah,
I hate just bending my fingernail back too far, like on accident.
I was a food service attendant a long time ago on my first ship, and I was coming down from the wardroom with like the trays of food that needed to go down to the deep sink to get washed.
Yeah,
and there was a nameplate on a controller, and that little steel nameplate went underneath my fucking index fingernail.
Nope.
Nope. I was done for the day, dude. I think I racked out. I think I would have that shit off. I'm like, nope.
The day's over for me. Gotta mentally recover from this.
Yeah, that hurt really bad. And then, yeah, no, not doing it. Not doing it. Like waterboarding sucks, but
you could survive that.
Yeah. Well, I don't survive that. You might dry drown, but it's more like panicky. Right. Versus
because it's
like
the whole not being able to breathe. And then when you do start to breathe, they just pour more water on you.
Yeah. It's more panic inducing versus sheer pain.
Do you think people do that for fun?
Waterboard? I'm sure there's a group of people out there that are crazy enough to just, hey, dude, let's throw back a 6-pack and waterboard each other. just to say that they did, they can survive it.
You'd have to be really experienced in like how far is too far with that.
Dude, there's backyard wrestlers that do shit that should kill them.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Jump off of roofs, like bed of fucking glass and shit. I'm sure they waterboard each other for fun. Right? Build up psychological toughness by almost drowning yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna take a pass on that one. I'll just do some meditation, build up my like there's no way I'm gonna subject myself to being waterboarded.
No. Absolutely not. What would your preferred torture method be?
I was thinking like maybe like the rack where they would stretch you out, or the big stand-up thing with the nails in it, like the coffin of nails.
The Iron Maiden.
Yeah, there you
go. That Iron Maiden's pretty intense, dude.
I know, but like I feel like it couldn't get any closer. Like the nails were like you couldn't push them in any further. Like once it's closed, like that's as bad as it's gonna get.
I mean, I don't remember where I read this, but I don't think they ever actually used the Iron Maiden.
There you go.
I think it was just like a scare tactic.
Well, probably because it didn't work. That's what I would choose.
Yeah. The rack, I don't know, dude. So you remember I tore my ACL, right?
Yeah.
Or PCL, like 3 ligaments in my knee.
Yeah.
How it happened was kind of similar to the racking where my snowboard hit a hole, my body kept going, but my foot stayed in the hole. So my knee pulled itself apart and then came back together. So based on that experience, if that were happening in slow motion versus fast, fuck.
I mean, dude. But see, like the same thing that I think about too, though, like the further they stretch it out, like your body will eventually get used to that type of pain. And then when they move it, it's just temporary again. It's like the whole getting shocked thing.
I don't think so, dude. I think because it's not like over a long period of time. Right?
You think they do it quick?
No, they're not. It's not. Your body's not going to get used to being stretched out further than it should be. right? Like you're not building flexibility with this machine.
I don't know.
When you stretch, you're like, oh man, this part right here hurts. But after a while, you can stretch past that. But a
Yeah.
while is like a few days to a few weeks
Hey,
to
man.
a month. This is like stretching you out till your joints pop out of their sockets over the course of a day. Right. I don't think you're gonna get used to it. It's more like you're sitting crisscross applesauce for a long period of time. And then when you stretch your leg out, it's like real sore.
Yeah.
It hurts real bad now all day, but like worse because you're
Maybe.
physically tearing ligaments and muscles.
Good night. I don't know.
No, not doing it, dude. Not
No,
doing
hard
it.
pass.
Now, hard pass. Now, there was a legit execution method that I did read. I forgot what country did this, but they would throw you into what would be the equivalent of a crawl space / septic tank in the castle.
Okay.
And just leave you there till you died. So you're like in a space that you can't fully stand up in.
Just getting shit on.
Getting shit on until you fucking die. Probably of disease or sores or infections or something like that, dude.
Oh, for sure.
That's
that just sounds terrible.
That's a shitty way to go.
100%. And two, because it's like in a castle and the castles were made of stone. So everything, like you just hear everything that's happening above you reverberate all the way down.
Yeah. You could hear people having a grand old time feasting on like meat that's been sitting out for a week. Right.
I was just talking about dudes ripping huge farts and like you just hear the sound. You're like, oh man, here it comes.
I was going to get there. You get the good with the bad, dude. You get to hear them enjoying their lives, right? You can call out and they hear you.
Oh, yeah.
They hear you. And they're like, simmer down, dude. I got food poisoning. Here we go.
We got something for you later.
Here we go. But yeah, I'm glad we're more civilized and we just electrocute people.
Well, I mean, nowadays, like you can't even do that. Like it's lethal injection. They put you to sleep and then they kill you.
Yeah, potassium overdose.
Is that what it is? Is a potassium overdose?
I looked it up one time because I was curious, and I think it is. It's just a ton of potassium. I can double check real quick.
But so here's the thing too, like how many bananas is too many bananas now then?
We'll find out. What is in a lethal?
Because I don't think anybody uses the electric chair anymore. They don't hang people anymore.
No, this Google has a different answer than potassium. I can't pronounce the words. It's pancurium bromide for muscle paralysis. Oh, muscle paralysis. It's a cocktail is what it is.
Yeah.
It's pancurium bromide to cause muscle paralysis and respiratory arrest, potassium chloride to stop the heart, and midazolam for sedation. So it puts you to sleep, stops you from breathing, and stops your heart all at the same time.
I wonder what that feels like. Is it a peaceful way to go? Like you just fall asleep and then...
I don't know. Have you ever had a general anesthesia?
No, I've never been under anesthesia before.
Okay. I have for, I think, appendicitis is what it was. And this is already a morbid episode, so fuck it. But I went under for appendicitis, and if that is what death is like, it's not too shabby.
Only that type of death. Like you don't want to go into like cardiac arrest and have your...
It's weird, dude. I'm pretty sure like they kill you, but they keep you alive because you do the countdown thing. The anesthesiologist is like, hey dude, just count down from 10. You're like 10, 9, and then you wake up in your room recovering. Right.
But how'd you feel when you woke up though? Did you feel refreshed? Like you slept good? Or
fuck no. I felt like dog shit.
Oh really?
I couldn't keep anything down. So like whatever I ate, like fucking beef broth, I was throwing up, right?
That's crazy.
I just threw up all the time. Like it felt horrible coming back to life, but
at least you came back.
But yeah, there was there was the countdown and then there was recovery and there was nothing in between, right? Just pure nothingness, just blackness and silence until you wake up in your recovery room and you're like, I'm fucking starving. And then you throw up immediately. Right. Or some people don't throw up. I don't know. And they keep you there until you like can keep food in.
Yeah, keep food in and go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Like that. Those are the two big things. But yeah, so if it's like that, that's not bad. Like you just go to sleep and then you don't wake up.
You know.
Yeah. But it's kind of good that it takes a while because there have been a lot of people on death row that were found innocent later on.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
It's still shitty.
it's a coin flip.
It's a coin flip.
Yeah,
It's still shitty because they did spend all that time in jail
yeah,
and then
and like,
appealing and
there's
appealing and appealing.
no what's the word, retribution that you get for doing the time for a crime you didn't commit.
No, I don't think there is. I think you get some money, but not.
Not like the amount that you would make for, like, if like, let's just say that you make 60 grand a year there and you're
No,
in there for 10 years. They're not giving you $600,000.
no, but also all the time you lost too, like
Oh yeah,
personal growth, time spent with family.
like there's no way you can compensate for that.
No, it's horrible, right? But it's like I would still say it's better than dying and everyone thinking that you're a murderer.
Yeah, yeah, I go with that.
Speaking of that,
Speaking of which,
speaking of which, you know how they find somebody not guilty after the fact, like they die or whatever. I'm not saying lethal
like they,
injection, but like somebody in the 1800s was accused of being fucking Jack the Ripper, right?
yeah,
And then he got tried, convicted, whatever the punishment was, and he lived his whole life being called Jack the Ripper. And then like 200 years later, they're like, "Oh fuck, it wasn't this guy. It was this other dude." And then
uh-huh.
they retroactively say, "Oh, he was innocent." Right? How much time is too much time where that matters? Because if I've been dead for 200 years, right? Everyone that knew me or cared about me wouldn't care anymore.
I think it would depend on whether or not you had any like lineage, because then, like,
200 years, dude. The people that are still alive would not have known me.
I mean, they wouldn't have, but like your great 200th removed grandson or uncle or whatever can be like, my family isn't a killer.
I don't think anybody would. You might have like one or maybe two, like great grandkids. They're like super into who you were.
I would
That
be
would
like,
that
I
would be
would
like
like,
that.
yeah, that would probably, like, if my great whatever was a famous murderer back in the 1800s, like that'd be my Instagram handle, like Jack the Ripper 200. You know what I mean?
But see, when it comes out that he's innocent, you can't be Jack the Ripper anymore.
Well, and now that would make me upset.
That would make you upset that he is now retroactively
Yeah.
pardoned, right?
Yeah.
There's
Spent my
zero
whole life.
impact to his life.
Yes.
Zero impact to his life. Right? I think it's nice that they at least attempt to, but sometimes I just think it's a little bit much.
Yeah, and then too, like, I think history is subjective because it's always whoever writes the book, that's who gets to say that's how it happened.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of which, we're gonna shift gears altogether again because I'm tired of death and destruction, but there's gonna
Okay.
be some death and destruction. I've been listening to I'm gonna call it a book on tape, but it's really a podcast about the romance of the Three Kingdoms in China. You know
Okay.
anything about that?
I don't.
All right. So
What's the podcast called?
Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Based
Bromance to the Three Kingdoms.
romance.
Romance.
Based on the book Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which is a Chinese novel based on the Han Dynasty era and like some heroes and shit. Right. There's a game that I used to play called Dynasty Warriors that was based on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they have like all these crazy fighters. But that book has some major historical inaccuracies. In the podcast that I listened to, the author, or not the author, because what he's doing is he's translating the book or has a translation, but he is making it more from the Chinese perspective, which is super exciting versus like the this is what they said, right? So
Yeah.
he's kind of not only translating it, but putting it into a Western cultural mindset. But yeah, there's major historical inaccuracies there where these people did exist and they did do some of those things, but what was captured in the novel is not necessarily what happened in real life,
Yeah.
with the exception of a few things. But yeah, there's like magic, murder, poison, brothers poisoning brothers, dude. It's fucking awesome. Definitely check it out.
I'll have to. Have you ever been to Hiroshima?
I have not, dude. The only places I went to was Tokyo when I was in Japan.
Well, I went to Hiroshima, and I went to the bombing museum where
Yeah.
the U.S. dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And so when you go there, you can see, and not to discredit or anything like that, but it was very eye-opening that the Japanese teach that they did nothing wrong, and for an unbeknownst reason, America just dropped this nuclear bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
I mean,
Like it's in a museum that they're like, on a peaceful day and nothing was happening, America just dropped this bomb on us. And I was like, it's kind of not the way it happened. But if you want to teach that, then go for it.
I mean, I don't know enough about the Japanese culture to specify that. Like maybe there's some right or wrong there, but I guess the people of Hiroshima, they weren't involved in the war, right? Like
I mean, no, not technically, but
the Japanese government was, but the people of Hiroshima like weren't really, but we definitely blew them the fuck up, right? And there was a reason for it, right? Even if the people there didn't quite
understand what was going on.
understand what the bigger picture of what was going on. Because if you
Yeah.
can think, right, the people in charge controlled the narrative, right? So if there's
Yeah.
no major TV or news outlets reporting that there's a war going on, these people don't know. To them, they're just fucking going to get their goddamn groceries, dude. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, big ass explosion, and then another one. So, I mean, I can see that, but it is kind of disingenuous though, like because after the fact, you see the bigger picture.
Yeah. And
And
today, and well, I mean, when I was there in 2010, 11, whatever time frame that it was, the internet was around and you could do your own research on what actually happened.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. That is a tough one, but you have other countries like Germany that do teach, hey, Nazi shit happened and we were fucked up there, so don't ever be a Nazi.
Yeah, they're still around.
Yeah, they're still around, but it's like a felony, I think, in Germany.
Is it really?
Yeah, if
That's
they
funny. Like thinking about it, how like if it really is a felony in Germany, that it's transcended to some like a different subculture and has made its way out west or east. I don't know which way, whichever way you go to get here to America from Germany.
yeah, hold on, I was just looking something up. Yeah, but also if you think about it, right? For the most part, I think our people are relatively the same as they were today as they were back then. Like no one is uh that different, right? We just have a faster way of sharing information. So
Yeah.
I don't think that every American and every uh French and every uh English thought that the Nazis were as bad as what we think about them today. Right? Like you have to believe that there's going to be some sort of Nazi sympathizers in all of the
Yeah.
Allied countries that
Yeah.
agree, right? Because they don't really know what's going on, or if they do know what's going on, they may not believe what's actually happening, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the German Penal Code publicly prohibits publicly denying the Holocaust and disseminating Nazi propaganda both on and offline. This includes sharing images such as swastika, wearing SS uniforms, or making statements in support of Hitler. So it's definitely illegal. I just don't know how illegal it is, whether it's a
Well, if they got to
misdemeanor.
write about it, then
Yeah,
it's got to be pretty illegal.
yeah. There's like 3 fucking codes about it, dude. They have like 3 or 4 laws on it. That's
Hmm.
pretty illegal. I'd say. But that also goes into like a weird discussion too that we can kind of get into. Freedom of speech.
Oh Lord.
Do you want to get into this or no?
I mean, we can.
Is hate speech protected under the First Amendment's freedom of speech?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like,
Something's
Google it
going on
real
with
quick.
something's
Yeah, I
going on with
know.
your camera.
I don't know. Maybe because we're talking about free speech, so I have to get blurred out now. But no, like, I don't know what the actual amendment says, and I don't know if it's freedom of speech towards the government, or you can say whatever you want to, or if it's just a general law that you can just say whatever you want to without repercussion. Because in my eyes, like, yes, you should be able to talk about whatever you want to, but at the same time, you have to know your audience. Like, if your audience isn't going to be receptive to what you're saying, then why say it?
Yeah. So first off, hate speech or any speech, right? Sorry, I'm like reading and trying to talk at the same time. You're not protected from people's reactions to it.
No, I
So
mean,
if you say some,
if
yeah,
if you think that you can say whatever you want to, then the person that gets offended can say whatever they want to back to you,
and react however they
however
want
they
to,
want.
right? Like
Yeah.
fire you, whatever. All right. So the American Library Association has an article, or not really an article, but a definition of hate speech and hate crime based off of the First Amendment, right? So in the United States, hate speech is protected by the First Amendment. Courts extend this protection on the grounds the First Amendment requires the government to strictly protect robust debate on matters of public concern, even when such debate dissolves into distasteful, offensive, or hateful speech that causes others to feel grief, anger, or fear. This was decided in Supreme Court Snyder v. Phelps, is an example of where the Supreme Court held up that hate speech is protected, right?
Yeah.
But hate crimes are not. So you can say fucked up shit, right? But
Okay.
you cannot do fucked up shit.
I mean, and that's like just being a good person too.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, it is protected, dude.
but what does the First Amendment actually say?
I'll Google that real quick. What does the First Amendment say? Did somebody sneak in here, dude? About freedom of speech. It says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, of abridged freedom of speech or of the press, or of the right of people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances.
So there's a bunch of things that gets covered in there. So
Why did you get all quiet all of a sudden?
who, me?
Oh, you're fine. I must have hit my volume.
Uh,
But yeah, it's grouped up, right? So the government can't create anything that would restrict your freedom of speech, press, or peaceably assemble.
yeah, but
Right.
peaceably is like you can't go around destroying buildings. But I think that if you have an audience, you should be, and that audience is there to see you, then you should be able to say whatever you want to, whether you have knowledge on it or not, because either A, they paid to come and see you, or B, they like the person who you are, or C, they just there to hang out.
Yeah. It's kind of like weird now too, though, because back then my reach for my speech would be very, very small and
Yeah.
very, very localized, right? But with how fast we can talk on the internet, right?
Yeah.
Or even via phone
Yeah.
now, something as mean, I'll say mean, right? But still kind of innocent as me expressing uh an opinion or a thought or whatever that would piss you off, right? Like fuck people that wear red sweaters. They're all idiots. Right.
Right,
I
I'll
can
buy it.
get and reach more people that think the same way as me, right? So now I have a whole group of people that are like, fuck people with red sweaters.
Yeah.
And while individually none of us want to do anything against people with red sweaters, we just
Yeah.
hate them. mob mentality, you could just kind of feed off of each other's energy. And now we're creating a mob to go out and murder all red sweater wearing people that we hate.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you could. I mean,
Because there's also, I can hide from the people that tell me you're a fucking idiot, dude. It's just a sweater. He changes it tomorrow.
yeah. Like,
yeah.
no, I mean, that's a big topic of discussion right now, too. Like, it's.
It 100% is. Right. Well, yeah, those are just kind of my 2 cents on it. I am getting hot in here, though, and I talked about sweaters, and it made me think about how hot it is in my garage.
Surprised you're wearing a sweater in
dude,
Southern California.
So we brought the Everett weather over here, dude.
Oh, nice.
Yesterday it was cloudy. It was rainy. It was like 55 degrees.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's been sunny and in the upper 50s.
Yeah. Now this morning it was cold, and now it's getting hot because that's how Southern California works. It's cold as fuck in the morning, and then
once that marine layer burns off, it's pretty hot out here.
Hot outside in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's where we're at. So we started with Havana Syndrome.
Yeah, we got way off topic on that
one. And we ended with free speech.
Yes. With a little bit of torture in between.
Yes, and executions. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So I do want to poll our audience, right? If we could figure out how to stream, right? What would be the best day to do it?
Probably the weekend is what I would say.
Yes.
But I'll make a poll, and people would actually want to watch us and do this live. But the best platform would probably be YouTube, since I already know how to use it.
I think YouTube as well, only because I think it has a bigger built-in audience.
Yes.
Right off the bat.
100%.
Right. And you can stream to more than one place at a time, I think.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. I've been doing a lot of multimedia endeavors.
Yes. Because I think it'd be fun, especially this last discussion that we had, if there was like a little chat, like, hey, dude.
Oh, like a Q&A type thing?
Or they just interact with us while we're talking.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things that like the people in the ship, when we were first doing it, they're like, dude, we're listening to you talk, and we kind of like want to jump in on the conversation because it's so good. But I can't, because I'm just listening in. And I'm like, oh,
I never got that feedback.
Yeah, because you weren't on the ship.
The only feedback I get is from my dad, and he's like, your buddy Lucas cusses too much. And I was like, well, I mean, it's him. It happens.
It's the internet. We can swear as much as we want. But sorry, Mr. Esperson. I will try to cut back.
But yeah, no, we can figure something out. And if you want to support us, go out to the Patreon. Don't, like, as much as it pains me to say this, because I spent a lot of time and effort and energy into creating the merch. Whenever you buy merch, it comes out of my bank account before it actually gets to me. So I don't have enough money for y'all to buy merch. But if you want to, you can. Just know that you're taking money away from my family. We'll figure out a different way.
Yeah, to kind of explain how it works is he has to pay for the merch before it gets sent, and then they pay you after.
Yeah, I get the leftovers.
Yeah, which is kind of shitty. It's a shitty way to do it.
It is.
But
thanks, Nacho, for buying a sweater and a cup and costing me $53.
All right. Well, follow us on Instagram.
That's go to Instagram, Two Dummies Podcast, and the link tree's there, and it has all the links to everything that you need.
Yep.
Even the Patreon. It's only $5 a month, like $5, or you can sign up for a year. I think it's cheaper to sign up for a year than it is for a month. And I'm still trying to talk Lucas into doing the hot wing challenge, but all the shorts that I was doing are up there on Patreon because I didn't put them on YouTube.
Yeah, we do have to do the Hot Wings challenge. Nail down a date for that. It'll kind of be how many flavors? Did we even nail that down yet?
We haven't nailed anything down.
Or are we just picking a flavor and who can eat the most of it?
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, but we would need to get a ton of wings because I don't know. I eat a fuck ton of wings, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're eating like El Diablo,
Let's just put it this way: I can wolf down 25 mango habanero wings from B Dubs and start feeling it around wing number 17.
mm,
Right. By the time I get to 25, I'm pretty fucking miserable. But
I can imagine. But then too, I mean, the chicken wing shortage and cost of inflation and
yeah, there's all that stuff happening too. 5.1% is inflation as of this morning, from what I read. That's what we're going to talk about originally, by the way, was inflation.
Yeah, that's what it was. Why does it cost so much to live here?
Yes, it's fucking expensive.
It's
sorry, Mr. Esperson. I swore.
All right. Well, I'm gonna run.
Yep, you run. I gotta. Lincoln got back from school, so I gotta go practice t-ball with him.
Nice. You'll be a good dad. Enjoy that.
Oh, I will.
Yeah. All right. Until next time, man.
Yep. Later, dude.
All right, later.